All right, now he talks a little bit about projects of campaign. One should know one's enemies, their alliances, their resources, and the nature of their country in order to plan a campaign. One should know what to expect of one's friends, what resources one has oneself, and see the future effects to determine what one has to fear or hope from political maneuvers. We've heard this over and over again. Understand your enemy. Back to the book. Extravagant projects of campaign are worthless. I call extravagant those which require you to make penetrations or those which reduce you to a too rigid defense. Penetrations are worthless because in pushing too far into the enemy's country, you weaken yourself. Your communications become very difficult to maintain on account of their length, and in order to make assured conquests, it is necessary always to proceed within the rules. And here's the rules. To advance, establish yourself solidly. To advance again, to establish yourself the same. And always to prepare to have within your reach of your army your resources and your requirements. So there he's saying, make sure you're ready. And if you got to extend yourself, don't extend yourself too far. That's what he's saying. That's very good advice.
Makes sense.
Now, he also says this. Now, so that's going on the offense. Now, there's a dichotomy here, which we talk about dichotomy a lot. There's a dichotomy here because he's saying, hey, look, you got to be careful going on super far distant offense and extending yourself too far. But then he says this, back to the book. Projects of absolute defensive are not practicable because while wishing to close yourself in strong camps, the enemy will envelop you, deprive you of your sustenance from the rear, and oblige you to lose ground while disheartening your troops. So while you're digging in, guess what? The enemy's going to maneuver on you and cut you off. Now back to the book. I prefer to this conduct of the offensive with the hazard of losing the battle, since this will not be more fatal than your retreat and your timid defensive. So he's saying there, he'd rather be aggressive, lean towards being more aggressive than lean towards being more defensive. And he says why? In the one, you lose ground by withdrawing and soldiers by desertion, and you have no hope. So if you go on the defense, that's what happens. You lose ground, you lose soldiers, and you have no hope.
Straight up. Yep.
Now on the offense, he says, in the other, you do not risk more, and if you are fortunate, you can hope for the most brilliant success. What is he saying there? Attack. That's what he's saying. I agree with that. Again, there's a dichotomy there because he's saying attack, but the previous paragraph, he's saying don't overextend yourself. Mm-hmm. This is why we're writing a book called The Dichotomy of Leadership, because you have to find that balance. All right. Back to the book. I am now coming to what I call the defensive, which turns into the offensive. The greatest secret of war and the masterpiece of a skillful general is to starve his enemy. Hunger exhausts men more surely than courage, and you will succeed with less risk than by fighting. But since it is very rare that a war is ended by the capture of a depot and matters are only decided by great battles, it is necessary to employ all these means to attain this object. Starving your enemy. You know what I was thinking? Interestingly, you know what I was thinking about when that popped into my mind is when you're dealing with relationships, one of the best ways to like win in a relationship scenario is you starve the other person of attention.
What do you mean win?
So to win. So like what's the worst thing you can do to your kid when your kid is doing something bad?
Give it attention.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do is give it attention. The best thing you can do is starve it of attention. Yeah. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And another thing is like in jiu-jitsu, you starve the person of energy, right? You make them use their energy, and once they're out of energy, they're done.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess it depends on what you mean by win the relationship.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really phrase that correctly, but I was thinking of What we generally do, let me clarify that. I think I just figured it out a little bit. What we generally do is if we've got a problem in a relationship, what do? We go to fight it. We go to war. The better thing may be just to starve it a little bit. How do you starve it? Starve it from attention, right? Well, like we talked about, I think it was last week, someone asked, like, how do you get vengeance? And I was like, hey, the best vengeance to give is starve them of attention.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't even give it to them.
Yeah.
That's the win.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not good to put that in perspective with your kids,
right? Or
that
relationship.
was not a good thing.
Any battle scenario in a relationship, sure. I think
yeah,
right.
And you could definitely go too far with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So no, I'm not saying starve. I guess if you're talking about, I guess more than anything else, I'm not even saying it's good or bad. I'm saying it's something to be aware of, that you can use attention as a tool to help you in your engagements, in relationships, in business, in life, in family, whatever. You can use that attention as a tool.
Yeah. That, I think that's put more appropriate.
Yeah.
Because
don't pay attention to your kids.
Yeah, because when you say relationship, you automatically assume wife, kids, girlfriend, boyfriend kind of thing.
I don't automatically assume that.
Yeah, well, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, okay.
Any battle situation where
any combative scenario.
Yeah, combative scenario. Yeah.
I'm just saying it's another tool. I'm glad you.
It's a good one too,
yeah,
by the way.
It's a good one. It is a good one.